everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing my November TBR. So before we get into it, number one, I apologize for the lighting. It is pretty dark and yeah, I'm trying to make do. This is the only time I have to film it. It is a miserable day out, so I apologize for that. So then number two is, how did I do on my October TBR? So in October I ended up with 10 books on my TBR, and of course, me being me, I chose some pretty chunky ones. And I'm filming this before the end of October. I can't say whether I failed or not. In my heart, I know that I've probably failed, but at the same time, there's a little part of me that's like, you can do it. At the moment of filming, I have Small Favors, My Best Friend's Exorcism, which I've started, and Black Sun. And I only need to finish 2 of those and start the 3rd to count my TBR as done. So I'm like, that is possible, but it's definitely a stretch. If I do fail my TBR, you will see a punishment in my first November vlog. Let's get into it. Okay, so just once again to go over where we are on the board. We are on 10k on the volcano, so if we get another one, I will twist the board again and I'm gonna have to add a spin. Then also we are on 10 out of 100 over in the retirement spot, and we have only gone to 2 out of the 4 islands, so still a ways to go until we are finished the game. So I don't really have anything else to say, so let's see how many spins I have to do this month. Two spins, guys! 2 spins. So spin number 1. That is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. An adult fantasy. So, only 2 spins this month, which, thank God, because, I mean, October was a struggle. So 2 is nice. 2 is nice. But anyways, the first spin was adult fantasy, and for this I'm going to be reading The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I actually don't have a lot of adult fantasies still on my TBR. I've been making my way through them, but for some reason I have not picked this one up yet. I read The Puppy War back in May, so it's been almost half a year since I read it. So I really do need to get a move on and read this because I really enjoyed The Puppy War. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I've heard great things about this. I think this is the most loved book in the series. I'm really excited to get to it, but also I'm just very nervous that I'm not going to love it or something. And also it's just pretty big. This series follows Rin, who is a peasant girl. She works extremely hard to get into this military academy so she can escape from poverty and her awful foster parents. And her life does not get any easier when she gets to this military academy because people don't think she deserves to be there because of the color of her skin, because of her status in life as an orphan and all of this. And then of course there's also a war brewing, and learning about war and participating in it are 2 very different things they all learn. So yeah, so this is about 650 pages. I have a fairly good idea of what happened in the first book. And then spin number 2 is a 5. Yes, that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, not this spot again. We landed on it last month and we've landed on it again. It's a book that was released before I was born. And I'm definitely someone who likes to read newer releases, so this is not fun. Then spin number 2 of the month was a book that came out before I was born, and this one, I hate this spot because I don't read a lot of classics or just older books in general. I definitely stick to more newer stuff, and so I was like, I don't think I have any on my shelves. I'll look on SCRIBD. Last month I read Howl's Moving Castle for this prompt, and then I realized I actually do have one, and that is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This came out in I think 95 or 96. 96. Yeah, so this was first published in 96. I always presume his books came out the 2000s, which I know is not true. But somehow that's always my first thought, and I think it's just because growing up having movies coming out that were based on his books, I always associate them with the 2000s. Like, so like, you know, so like Stardust and Coraline. I also associate them with the 2000s when like Stardust actually came out in I think 1999. Again, I don't really know what this is about. I know that this one has an underground magical city and it's under London, I believe. I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it. I really enjoyed Stardust. I thought it was really good, but as with lots of things with me, I do prefer longer books, and so I just wanted more from Stardust, and so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Whereas with this, like, it is bigger. It is, I think, it's still under 400 pages. It's, you know, it is a lot bigger than Stardust, and so I should be able to get like a good bit more. So these are the only books that I have to read in November. Have to. But I mean, am I only gonna read 2 books in November? Of course not. So none of these things that I'm gonna say are like set in stone. As always, I'm always trying to clear my shelves off as much as possible, and I haven't bought a book in a while, so I'm like trying to like get down that TBR number before like Christmas and stuff. So I think I would like to read one of these. So either Britt Marie Is Here or Anxious People. Just get one of the Frederick Bachmans off my TBR. Another one that I actually want to get to this month is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I have an idea for reading this. So, and since I only have 2 books on my TBR this month, it would be a good idea to do that little, you know, secret TBR thing. So this probably will be read. And then the other one I think I would like to get to this month is Kingsbane by Clara Legrand. I read Fear Reborn 2 months ago and I really enjoyed it, and I'm really interested in where the story is going. So again, this is another one that I would really like to get to. It is another fairly chunky one. It is over 600 pages. I already have the Poppy War on my TBR, which is over 600 pages. So this one mightn't happen, but hey, I might. We'll see. Watch my weekly reading vlogs to find out, or my November wrap up to find out whether or not I will read this. So we've gone from this to this, which that's about right. And then of course there is one more thing that I want to talk about, and that is Believe-a-thon. Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, for the past few years he has hosted Believe-a-thon, which is a readathon aimed at reading middle grade books, and I have never been able to participate in Believe-a-thon. I wanted to participate in all of them. Maybe not the first one, definitely the second one I was interested in. Yeah, I don't think I was too interested in the first one because it was like middle grades. And then I think for the second one I was like doing exams or something. Then last year I had great plans to participate, like only like half participate, like just read 1 or 2 middle grades because my TBR was huge that November. And then I got completely sidetracked because my TBR was so big. But this time that's not happening. I only have 2 books on my TBR, so I'm going to read a couple of middle grades. I might like do a whole dedicated week at least to, hey, I'm gonna try some middle grades. I went on SCRIBD to see what audiobooks, ebooks, etc. I got a lot of recommendations from Jade because, I mean, and also Gavin, but me and Jade have very similar reading tastes, so I automatically kind of like go to her when looking for recommendations. And I know she had put up like a couple months ago that she had put up at like my top 10 middle grades of all time. So I was like, I will check that out. And then there's also some that I just like, I've heard incredible things about. So the first one that I saw, and it's available as an ebook on SCRIBD, is Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. So this is a middle grade that is following a boy whose parents are getting a divorce, and he sees a pride flyer fall out of like his dad's pocket, I think. And then him and his friends, I think, all go to Pride. The other one, and this is available as an audiobook on SCRIBD, is Bright Storm by Vashti Hardy. Vashti Hardy is one of Jade's favorite authors, especially when it comes to middle grades. So, you know, one of the first people I looked up was to see, was there any of her books there? And there's not a lot of them, but there is Bright Storm, and I'm pretty sure she really loved that one. So I will take that. Also, I would like to say they didn't have Sophie Anderson. I really wanted to read one of her books, but they don't have any of them. So that's a shame. And then another one that they have, and I have the ebook for that, and I think there might also be an audiobook for it, is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. This one follows some cursed sisters, I believe. And then the last one that I have saved is the audiobook for The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. And again, this is another one that I've heard incredible things from Jade and Gavin, I think. I think both of them really enjoyed it. So those are like 4 middle grades that I would like to get to. I I think I will like just do like a whole dedicated week at some point in November and just try and read as many middle grades as possible. So I went from having like 2 books on my TBR to having like 9, which sounds about right. That is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.